already know that he has speed, he's got power. I know he's moving up in weight class. Can he carry it? But those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
Look at, and then Canelo's older. Crawford has the ability, but he's small, and he can look bigger in. Crawford could look bigger in the weigh-ins and all that stuff, but it's always a difference. When you get that fight with somebody, you can tell. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel fought him, the twin. He fought Crawford, and in all the stuff, the weigh-ins and the press conference.
Too fast and too smart for Canelo. Even Canelo is a good boxer. I'm not saying like nothing from not taking nothing from Canelo.
Canelo versus Crawford is being hyped as the biggest fight of the year, and Teddy Atlas didn't hold back in his breakdown. Atlas believes Terence Crawford has the tools to win no matter the weight class. He praised Crawford's discipline, adaptability, and skill, while questioning whether Canelo Alvarez is still the same fighter he once was. According to Atlas, Canelo has lost a hunger and fire that made him great, and recent performances prove decline. In fact, Atlas even goes as far as calling Canelo overrated compared to Crawford. For him, Crawford's sharpness, drive, and all-around game make him the favorite.
The urgency's not there. The fire's not there. At least it wasn't there a week ago. At least I say that. It wasn't there a week ago. Maybe it'll be there now. Maybe he's the kind of guy that, and I get it, that at this point in their career, it has to be a big fight to get up. That Canelo can't get up for these fights. He couldn't get up for that fight. All right. If you want to go down that road, go ahead. But my road is still possible. That he got old, that it just doesn't have that fire no more. Oh my God, I'm going to say this one. That maybe he's a little overrated. I listen, I know he's tremendous. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? If you look at some of...
Edgitagist Mean Machine Kavaliauskas, a man who shared the ring with Crawford, strongly believes size won't decide this fight. He argues Crawford's skill set and ring IQ are simply too advanced for Canelo. In his eyes, weight and natural size can't overcome timing, adaptability, and intelligence. Mean Machine describes Crawford as one of the most calculated fighters of his generation, a master at adjusting mid-fight and dismantling opponents. For him, control of pace, distance, and rhythm will matter more than size. And in that department, Crawford stands far above Canelo.
Right now, my position changed. I think Crawford is too fast and too smart for Canelo. Even Canelo is a good boxer. I'm not saying like nothing from not taking nothing from Canelo, but the way when you see oh, he's too big, when you see Usyk fights and what Usyk did to the big guys like Joshua and Fury, so the size that doesn't matter. I think the skill level matters. And Crawford, he gained weight, but I think he's gonna be even faster, and his head was good in the ring. His boxing IQ is just on top. So I would say 50-50, but right now I'm kind of leaning more to Crawford.
Mean Machine also draws a sharp comparison to Canelo's 2013 clash with Floyd Mayweather. Back then, Canelo was young and inexperienced, and Floyd schooled him with speed, defense, and ring generalship. Mean Machine believes Crawford can use similar tools, movement, precision, and smart counterpunching, to frustrate Canelo and take away his weapons. But he points out one big difference. Today's Canelo is a far more seasoned fighter. Years of experience, patience, and victories over elite opponents could make this matchup far more complicated than a Mayweather fight.
And that's just because of what you saw Usyk do?
It's not like I'm just giving an example. Size doesn't matter in the boxing. When they say Canelo is big and he's fighting 175, 168, and Crawford just moving from 147, 154. So I'm just putting an example that size doesn't matter, and that the fighter makes the fight. I think it's just that I see that Crawford's training and that he's big too right now. So he gained weight, but not and lots of people gain weight that sloppy weight, I would say fat, but
Former world champion Regis Prograis sees it differently. He dismisses the idea that Crawford's punches will phase a granite chin warrior like Canelo Alvarez. According to Prograis, Canelo has taken bombs from naturally bigger, harder-hitting fighters and barely flinched. Still, he doesn't write Crawford off. Progrise admits Crawford's skill, strategy, and stand-switching ability could win rounds and frustrate Canelo, but he questions whether Crawford has the firepower to truly hurt him.
Has the ability to outbox Canelo. You got to look at, and then Canelo's older. Crawford has the ability, but he's small, and he can look bigger in. Crawford could look bigger in the weigh-ins and all that stuff, but it's always a difference. When you get that fight with somebody, you can tell. Same thing with Jamel. Jamel fought him, the twin. He fought Crawford, and in all the stuff, the weigh-ins and the press conference, Jamel looked like the bigger man. His head, his neck, everything looked bigger. But when they got in the fight, you can tell. You can see who really was the bigger man. And I think that's the same thing. Crawford is putting on weight, but it's not weight like Canelo had the weight already. He doesn't have to put on muscle. He doesn't have to do that. He's already big like that. But I think that Crawford does have the style. He does have the style to beat him. If you look at the people that beat him or gave him troubles, Irislan, DeLaura, Austin Trout, Floyd, and Bivol, they gave him trouble and stuff like that. And Skull moved.
Jose Vargas Jr., who sparred with Crawford, echoes Progrise. Vargas flat out says Crawford doesn't hit hard enough to trouble someone like Canelo, having felt the punches himself. Vargas calls him sharp and precise, but not heavy-handed. He reminds everyone that Canelo has survived power from much larger men, raising doubts about whether Crawford can generate that same danger. Still, Vargas admits power isn't everything. Timing, accuracy, and consistency can break anyone down. But in his view, Crawford's shots may not carry enough to stop Canelo from marching forward.
Camp, all we're doing is putting the final touches. I've been sparring Ron Ellis. This guy is a dog, bro. He's been getting me ready. He's been Canelo's sparring partner. Shout out to my guy Ron, man. He comes, tries to knock me out every single sparring. This guy fights at 68. Big dude, goes southpaw, and hits hard. So I know he fought Benavidez. So he's a veteran, and he's doing veteran tactics in there where he's not letting me rest in the clinch. He's making me work every second of every round. And I got something for Callum. I got something for the whole boxing world. And, I feel you're just as good as your preparation. And we've been doing the road work. We've been doing the mountain work. I've been recovering hard. I've been getting my rest. I haven't been drinking no dark sodas, bro. I'm feeling like Tyson Fury right now, bro.
Mickey Bay takes a more controversial stance. He accuses Canelo of cherry-picking by taking the Crawford fight. Bay argues that Canelo has always been selective, often waiting for the right size or timing advantage. In his eyes, Canelo saw a smaller man moving up and decided it was the perfect chance to capitalize. Many critics in boxing agree, saying Alvarez is leveraging his size to tilt the scales in his favor.